Hello, everybody. Chris Hislop from the Montana World Affairs Council here, and this is another episode of What, So What, Now What, our international affairs webcast, where we bring you an expert on the issue of the day, and in just 5 quick minutes, you become the expert. For those people who watch regularly, you'll see I'm live with my guest today. This is Mr. Bogdan Kelichavyi. He is the mayor of the municipality of Kopychyntsi in Western Ukraine. Bogdan is here in Bozeman, Montana, together with the Ukraine Relief Effort, a nonprofit who's supporting the mayor's work in his municipality. So we're very pleased to have you here today, Bogdan. Thank you so much for coming on to the webcast.
Thank you for inviting me, Chris.
So Bogdan joined us last night at the Museum of the Rockies for an event on the Ukraine with Dr. Heather Ashby and Ambassador Bob Loftus. If you missed that, you can check it on our YouTube channel and our Facebook feed. But right now, we have this very unique opportunity to speak with somebody who is living and working in the Ukraine under wartime conditions. And so we'd like to ask you, Mr. Mayor, what is happening right now for you, your family, and your citizens?
Thank you for question. My community is populated of 15,000 people, and it's located in the western part of Ukraine. So it's relatively safe. It's not on the front lines, but it's definitely affected by war. We are sending our men to the front lines, our soldiers, trying to supply them with necessary equipment. And also instead, we are receiving internally displaced people, trying to accommodate them, provide some food, hygiene products, cash, whatever they need, and try to integrate them to our society.
So we hear a lot in the news about what's going on. President Biden was at the UN. President Putin gave an announcement yesterday, but we don't often get a lot of news or information about the situation of just normal people living in Ukraine under these conditions. Mayor, could you speak a little bit about what it's like to be living in Ukraine now?
I think it's a very difficult time. Nobody prepared for that. But at the same time, I see huge motivation of my people to fight back, to keep developing, developing businesses, to have a proper education. So we still have a lot of requests from our society for services that we have to deliver. But at the same time, we have limited budgets. Right now, we can rely on help from the state. We totally changed our plans for this year. Instead of building new roads, now we have to equip shelters for internally displaced people. But I think we're doing great. I think that we have a lot of communication and have a lot of collaborations with international organizations, international projects, just people, even from Bozeman, that are helping us around.
Mayor, could you say a few words about the Ukraine Relief Effort and how they connect with you and your municipality?
Yes, so Ukraine Relief Effort is an NGO that is created here in Bozeman, Montana, and they're helping us a lot. It started from the university, but they connected to me through the city hall, through the Brit Fontenot, who works there as the head of the economic development department. And they already visited our community. They were volunteering in our community, and they fundraised, they delivered some of medical supplies. So we are now like a family here.
Very good. Well, the other question I wanted to ask you, Mr. Mayor, was oftentimes Americans here see world news like what's happening in Ukraine and wonder, why should we care about what goes on there? We have a lot of things that happen here in our country and in our society and in our communities. But why, in your opinion, is it important for Americans to not just know about the situation in Ukraine, but do something about it?
Yeah, so here every day I'm asked by Americans, what can we do? Are we doing enough? And it's really motivating me even more to work. I think that Americans themselves, they understand, but those who don't understand, I think that their motivation is that first of all, it's just humanitarian purpose. Yes, we are protecting the values that we all are declaring that we want to live in, and at the same time, we don't want to break the global order that was established after the Second World War. We don't want to have more wars. We don't want to have more global wars. It's definitely, the situation is challenging. The Russian aggression is challenging the security in Europe, the strength of Europe. And I think that America is not that much interested of weak Europe. It should be a strong ally, and Ukraine can be a really powerful addition to Europe, because the population of Ukraine is 40 million people, and as for now, we are beating the so-called second largest army in the world. So we can help around to protect the world order that has been established so far, but we just need a little help.
Well, Mayor Bogdan Kelichavyi, thank you so much for joining us today. We wish you well here in your stay in America. Safe travels back, and all the best to your citizens there. Special thanks to the Ukraine relief effort, also, who's supporting the mayor and his citizens. And also special thanks to the Dennis and Phyllis Washington Foundation, Allegiance, and Stockman Bank, who help us bring this and so many more programs to you across Montana and around the world. Thanks a lot, Bogdan. Be well.
Thank you, Chris.
Everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.